Change topic here, interviewing Ted McWatters, a legend in many ways, about his life, and we want to find out about the man. Very, how would I describe Ted in my words? Super mate, friendly, help anyone, fun, just a great bloke. So, Ted, how you going?
Look, I'm in a good place. I like wine so much I bought a vineyard, and I'm probably showing a bit of it around my bottom jaw. Now, look, I'm a Kiwi. I was born in Pyro, which is about 100 kilometres south of Auckland. And
What year was that?
1960, 7th of December 1960. When I was a redhead, I went along with my father to a skin specialist, and he looked at me and said, "Don't become a farmer or a builder, or you know."
And you did become a builder.
My grandfather had started up a men's outfitter, McWatters Menswear, and Dad studied, and he was obviously good at mathematics, but he started and trained as an accountant. But along came World War II. And his best mate both made tank commander. He was a sergeant. And his mate went out on the boat before him. And a sniper got him and shot him through the head.
His mate.
Dad went out on the next boat and arrived in France on VE Day, the day the war finished. That was when they dropped the atom bomb on Hiroshima. So Dad rocked up in a tank in France, drank the best red wine, brought back 100 jazz records, Satchmo, Glenn Miller. I had an incredible family life. Mum and Dad. I think Mum was about 36 or 7 when she had me. So after 2 girls, I was a hell of a boy. And they were golfers. When I went out with Mum and watched tee up a golf ball. And after 13 air shots, like total misses, I think the 14th shot, the ball trickled out. She said, "What a stupid game. Who would ever play this, you know?" Anyway, she went on to play golf, become pennant golfer. And the only reason she gave it up is her arthritis prevented her from hanging on to her clubs.
Tell me a little bit about your school life in New Zealand when you were growing up, primary school and high school.
Primary school, I did alright.
Did you like school?
I liked school. And I arrived at college and I had 2 elder cousins who said, "Dad, we'll look after you." So if there was ever any conflict, my cousins would make their presence known.
What were their names?
Dave and Kenneth McWatters, and they had a younger brother, Bevan, and I had a younger cousin from Dad's only sister, and he arrived a couple of years after me.
Which college was this?
Spiral College. I went to Miller Avenue Primary School, and that defined me. That Mum used to send me to school with my top button done up, and you know, a bit of a poofter. So we had sandals on our feet, and we'd walk to school in the middle of winter, break the ice, and these puddles, and there'd be frogs. And I got my fishing rod out and hooked this frog up the arse and sent it off, hoping an eel or trout or something like that. Didn't happen. Poor frog. Then at lunchtime, we'd go out and play this game, go home, stay home, which meant running across the oval, and the Maori boys would target the poofter with a buttoned up bloody shirt, and I could run reasonably quick, and they dropped me a couple of times, put their elbow and hurt me. And I went, I can play this game. So I went running straight at this Maori boy, dropped the shoulder and flattened him. And I was laughing and made the other end for the first time. I went, a man could get to like this.
So This is rugby union.
Well, that's what I went on to play rugby union, and I wasn't the quickest, and I was a fiery little redhead, so they put me as hooker. And club rugby, we had an ex-All Black hooker. He said, "Dad, grow a few whiskers, and if you're close to your line, it's there feeding, and you haven't had a shave for a few days, you can dig your jaw into his jaw, pop his head out of the scrum so he couldn't see it, and hook a tight head, hook a loose head, tight head, something. Win the ball back, and the half-back would nip round the back and score a try." So I did this, and it worked. We scored a try. On the very next scrum, the big lock forward, his fist came through and hit me right in the nose and burst both blood vessels. Had 2 squirts down each side. And the ref just said, "Blood rule, gotta go off." But I was good enough to make a few representative rugby teams, under 16, under 18. What was it? I was playing for Pyro College. It was Thames Valley representative teams. And the fiery redhead made most of those teams. We played the Narrawahia first 15, and their forward pack was heavier than the All Black forward pack, and they destroyed us. But we won most of our games. And I was expected to be 3rd generation McWatters men's outfitters. But my marks at school were that good. I got the opportunity to go to university and civil engineer. Sounded pretty good, and I tried very hard at school, at college, but I mowed my grandfather's lawns. It was 2.5 acres. I used to walk down, run up, walk down, run up, walk down. Being the first 15, it got me, fairly fast and fairly strong. It's just throw the lawnmower around. Anyway, my cousin had a hot Mark II Zephyr. It had flared guards and had a Mark III Zephyr motor in it with extractors and twin pipes. It had some parlour shifter, a couple of Webbers and a full race cam. My mother saw that and went, "Get rid of that car." I said, "Mum, I can't afford to put petrol in it." So I just putt around in it. It was built by my cousin, so it would be, fairly reliable. And go to 115 miles an hour. According to one of my best mates who had a GDR XU1 trailer, he said, then it started smoking. He said it just ran out of petrol, and the Webbers were sucking in that much fuel. I had an electric fuel pump in the back and a mechanical fuel pump at the front, but it was still not enough petrol to supply these Webbers. But 115 was, I was seriously scared of this car.
So where did you get the name Ted from?
Well, I was a bit of a teddy bear, and used to get wasted and rude head, and the name stuck.
So what's your full name?
Phillips, that's my grandmother's maiden name. John McWatters, and my father's name was Phillips James McWatters, and his name was Phil. He didn't want me to have the same initials, so he mucked my name up.
And tell me about your sisters.
He had two older sisters. One was Sophie.
What are their names?
Jan. She was 10 years older than me. And Marie, who was about 5 years older than me.
Did you get on well with them?
I did. We had our little discrepancies.
Did they look after you if they were bigger?
No, look, Jan, my elder sister, I used to skateboard down this driveway across the road, and this guy would turn up in his Mark IV Zephyr, and "You little bugger, you piss off home. Can't skateboard down here." And I developed a hatred for him. And then he started going out with my eldest sister, Jan, who was 10 years older than me. And I went, "I had your guts, Neil Lyons." And I'd start swinging at him. And he was a grown man. And he'd just hold my forehead, absorb a few blows in the arm, but I couldn't get to his face or his. And they ended up getting married. And I was an 8-year-old sort of hanging around Mum, and I overheard the conversation. "Just because you're pregnant, Jan, doesn't mean you have to marry him. She said, no, Mum, I love the man. And they were the best. They were like my mum and dad. They were the best parents. So they had 3 girls, and my sister, who was 5 years older than me, Marie McWatters, she had 2 girls.
So just to go back, so did you finish university?
No, that's when I,
How many years did you do in Auckland? Was it in Auckland?
yeah, 7
7 years.
7 years.
Civil engineering.
I called it, well, I ended up, you had to pass all your intermediate year papers to get into engineering school. So I missed 2. I studied astrophysics, which was, you know, the Big Bang theory and the sun and all the rotating.
So that's what you studied at university? So originally it was engineering, or civil engineering, was it? I'm just trying to get clear.
Well, it was just to catch up on these 2 papers. And all the religious people walked out on the first lesson because they thought God built the earth in 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested, and they couldn't handle the Big Bang theory, and they all walked out.
So you didn't complete uni, but how did you get into building?
Well, I picked up enough civil engineering. I got through 3rd professional year, but it got to like 3-dimensional mathematics and structural. Oh no, it wasn't mechanics. Mathematics. I couldn't quite grasp, and I was probably spending too much time with a bloke named Dr. David Bowler. Some of these I would go surfing and participate in unusual activities like eating cactus and smoking marijuana, drinking too much, Carrie Villa. And we were lucky enough, Mark Morrison, one of my mates from Pyro and that region, he said, my cousin has got one of the best flats in Auckland. He's finished his law degree. All his flatmates had finished in as well. You guys should just move in. The university arrived about 9 months later, and there was 5 guys in this flat, which was 2 doors from the Auckland domain, so we'd go skateboarding through there and throw frisbees, and they built the Auckland Med School right outside our back door, so they didn't appreciate us having our little barbecues out the back with light a fire, and all of a sudden this fire engine would arrive and put our little fire out. We're cooking potatoes, this is our dinner. A few sausages.
So you moved into that place, that flat, before you went to uni though? So you met Dr. Dave before you went to uni, is that right? Just trying to get him clear in my head.
No, we had first year at university, we were in a hall of residence, and we were in the same hall of residence just down the road, just down the same. It was 14 stories high, and he was just down the corridor. First year, there was 140 students, and we misbehaved something shocking. We got a rubbish bag. We held it out the window about the 10th story and got the fire hydrant and filled this bag until we couldn't hold it any longer, and let it go. And it landed on the office roof, and the plate glass windows shattered. The poor people underneath would have had near heart attacks.
Mischievous Ted, and still, like Dr. Dave's been a great lifelong friend for you, hasn't he?
He has. We surfed together. And Mark Morrison was another defining man. Mark Mora. We all played together. Mark Morrison was a good mate of mine, but he lived at Hikataya, and his father had a petrol tractor, so he had a huge 200-gallon farm tank. And I could say, come pick me up. And I'd zoom out there in the Zephyr. And he put about $20 worth of petrol in it. Off we'd go. We got these girlfriends in Thames, which is the next town up. And I had this gorgeous girl. And it was always, none of that. And I think for my 16th birthday, she let me have it, which is very special. And I think the next year I was going to university, and she was modelling her auntie's wedding dresses. So I thought, would stay together. Anyway, that didn't happen. She dropped me. So I played the best rugby of my life. Probably drank too much. Made the Auckland under-21 squad and had a cartilage taken out of my knee. And that's when I took up snow skiing. Every year they used to take us snow skiing. I got seriously sunburnt and found a use for the aloe vera plant which kept my skin on. Then I decided to, because I couldn't finish my engineering degree, went to this little beach that just started up. It's called Whangamata. And it was gorgeous, seagull-shaped beach. It was on the east coast. It had a great harbour. It was a very windy road to get into. So it had an estuary at one end. The Maoris were selling off these blocks of land at the back of the, like nowhere near the beach, quite close to the estuary where the fresh water arrived. And it was $8,500. And I said to Mark, we'll go half each. And we did. But he decided he wanted to go snow skiing again the next year. And he wanted to sell his half of the block of land, and my elder sister Jan and Neil, her husband, they'd camped on it and decided we'll take over his half, and we wanted to build like a kitchen, toilet and shower. It was $17,000. Went, bugger that, we'll build a nice little 8-foot, had one bedroom and a little kitchen with a bench that had like a breakfast bar sticking over it, had 5 stools along it. Well, I was not nailing down the deck, and I read the local reg, and they were looking for a builder's labourer. And this guy, I rang him up, Peter Waters. He said, I live just round the corner, I'll come round and have a look at this house you're building. And it had like an 8-foot ceiling, and then a 45-degree top on top of it, with exposed trusses over half, and I put a bedroom on top of the other bedroom, and had little timber panels down the side where you couldn't walk up to, and nice little balustrade across the front. You had to be up late, otherwise you couldn't get sleep because you could hear them down below pissing on. I don't know how many barbecues we built because we'd have our barbecue and then we'd throw the barbecue plate off and stoke the fire up till we had flames that were 8 feet high and the whole barbecue kept demolishing itself. So I built one that was bomb-proof. It was basically solid concrete lined with fire bricks and had a huge chimney at the back.
So when he came around to interview about the job, did you take the job or what happened after that?
Yeah, he said, "You've got the job." Anyway, I was getting all these jobs on the weekends, build me a deck, or I teamed up with another guy I was building with who was a cabinet maker. I came across this other block of land. The civil engineer was building his dream home, and he took a day off, went out in his little 10-foot dinghy thing, and he fell out of the boat, and the boat drifted away, and he wasn't a strong swimmer, and he drowned. And his wife just put the thing on the market. It was land value, but it had a concrete block basement that was huge, had bridge beams over the top. Anyway, we set the cabinet making factory up in that. So we were building together 5 days a week and cabinet making 2 days a week, or if the weather was really good, we'd go fishing, or there was power, abalone, peppies, cockles, mussels, oysters, and with a harbour at one end and estuary at the other end, there was limited land. It was a great surf beach, so prices just went through the roof. And I decided to do a trip around the world.
What year was this, Dad?
1988, I was 28 years old, and there was a woman that I'd met. I'd gone over to Waiheke Island and built, it was a half-round barn, $8,000. And we arrived in an Austin A60 ute with a kit set, 8x4 garden shed, an air mattress, barbecue plate, and my chest of tools. We built this house, and it was the locals would go and leave the barn on the farm, but in between these big steel portals, I would leave off the iron, and we put these big vertical windows that overlook the water, and you could see Auckland in the distance.
So where did you go after you finished building that? Still with the girl? Because you said you were on a around the world trip.
Then I went back to Whangamata. I get a knock on the door, and here's this woman. She said, "You're not going to be happy with me, but I'm pregnant." So Hamish Rogers, he took up her maiden name. He was born, I held him in 1988. My mother held him, and then I left the next day for Australia.
Do you still stay in touch with your son?
Hamish, yeah. I rang him up. Well, he rang me up. He said, "Dad, I'm sitting beside my half-brother and half-sister. They're both hopeless at maths, and they haven't got a sporting bone in their body. Where do you fit into it?" And I said, "Well, I went to university, and my best subject was maths." And I said, "I played rugby, javelin, shot put, discus, and I was pretty good at all those things." And he said, "Man, I've got to meet your side of the family." So he did. He came over and met my mum and dad, and took home little bits of his heritage, a few little photos, and both my sisters rang me up and said, "John, there's something wrong with your son." I said, "What's that?" And they said, "He doesn't drink." He was a religious person, and I think I rang him up in about 19, or might have been 2003 or something. I said, two accountants in their late 20s, I said, "I want grandsons." Well, he never answered the phone. And he rang me back about 5 minutes later. He said, "Dad, you must be psychic." He said, "We were in the hospital looking at an ultrasound, and they had a little boy, Miles, send him up a teddy bear and a balloon and a big bunch of flowers for Mum. Try and stay in contact, but 9 times out of 10 he doesn't answer the phone. Probably because he's busy and got a son to look after, but anyway, so I started a world trip. I arrived in Australia and Sydney. I bought a steak sandwich with a lot, and I had half in my hand and I was eating it, and the other half was just sitting on the ground. This is Hyde Park, and a big pelican came along and grabbed the other half of my steak sandwich with a lot and took off with it. And I went, gotta watch the wildlife around here. And I met Dr. Dave at Nissan 300 ZX. He's based in Adelaide. I wanted to watch a Formula One Grand Prix. And the first thing we did was the Great Ocean Road. And we had a boogie board and a set of golf clubs. And we had turns at drive-in, and somewhere we did the Great Ocean Road, came back, and we're coming through Victoria. And here's this big long hill with 3 caravans going down it. And I just gave the Nissan a bit of a squirt. There's a plainclothes policeman at the bottom, and he pulled me over. He said, "You were doing 176 miles an hour." And I said, "Well, there was nothing coming. There's 3 caravans that were dawdling along at, 50 mile an hour." And I said, "I just used that opportunity to give it a squirt and, indicated, pulled in, slowed back to speed up." And he said, "Well, here in Victoria, if you're doing more than 100 Ks, you lose, it's automatic loss of licence." And I said, "Look, I'm a Kiwi. I'm just going to continue my world trip." And he said, "Well, don't pay it then, but just make sure you keep going." Anyway, Dave and I arrived back in Adelaide, and we'd been down the York Peninsula fishing, and we're coming along Port Wakefield Road at lower light. We saw these parachutes open. Well, where did they come from? So we pulled in and we watched the aeroplane go over and the free fall parachutes open. And we've got to have a go at this, and enrolled in static line. And they were building the hangar, and the thing was swaying around. And I sent Briggsy to 2 Wells to buy 4 30-metre rolls of flat hoop iron. We did double diagonals, and it stopped the thing wobbling around. We got it square. Anyway, I got them pearl and set up so the roof would flow to the front of the building, and moved inside and went, every good shed deserves a bar. built the bar. I put a post in the corner, because there was one truss left over, and put exposed ceiling joists across, and there was a mezzanine floor on top that people could sleep in. Teddy was that wrapped about the bar that he slept on it, and I just nailed it together with the nail gun. His little thin 75mm nail, the bloody bar collapsed. So the next day I had to straighten it all up and tighten it up and put a few screws in it.
So we definitely know you left your mark there at Lower Light, building the hangar and building the club in that way. So tell me about your skydiving. When did you start skydiving? Pretty well straight away?
Straight away, and they went, he's doing so much building around the club, we need to get him addicted to skydiving. So they took me to AFF. My first jump was Jan Halen, and I had a skin-tight jumpsuit, and she couldn't catch me. She said she was in a head-down dive, but I did a pretty good jump. I stayed on heady and I was looking around for her, but I left her in the dust, and I think the cameraman, Reggie Stow, he came down and grabbed hold of me and made sure that I pulled the ripcord. I jumped number 13 and 14. Vic Belford put extra long bridles on. The parachute opened, but the bags flopped over the front of the canopy and started winding down the lines. And, you know, it was my first malfunction. Jumped number 14, and he said, "Don't be a pussy, go and do another jump." So I went up with Philonis and we did a B-rail jump. I tracked off, pulled the ripcord, and parachute open, the bag flopped over the front, so winding down the lines, and pulled my reserve ripcord and, you know, cut away the other one. And anyway, a round reserve came out, and I crashed down in this flock of sheep, and I arrived back at the hangar and threw this rig on the ground, and I said, "I want to drive my car out the driveway and I'm never going to come back." I said, "This is a seriously dangerous sport and you could die." And Philonis, who'd done the jump with me, he said, you finished your B-rail." He said, "We had a great jump, and what you described was exactly correct." And we went back to the original bridles, and, you know, they weren't coming over the front and wrapping around the lines. And anyway, Phil said to me, "Stay the night, stay sober. Tomorrow we'll do a 6-way, 12 grand first load." and there was Meth and Vic Belfer and Philonis and Thomas and Glenn Bolton, and we turned about 6 or 7 points, and I was addicted to skydiving, and I was building. I'd seen the building that I'd done at the drop zone, and Vic said, I've got a seafront block of land at Seaford, would you come and build me a house? 250,000. So I built a beautiful 2-story, had 2 living areas. He came and saw me just recently. He said, I've just repainted the inside of the house. Downstairs are 3 bedrooms. One was green, one was pink, and one was black. 2 girls, and Steve Vocal and I enticed them over to South Australia to work for me, and we built pole houses, and I didn't have to advertise. People were just looking for a good builder, and this pole house had 3 double bedrooms attached to it, and I said, $250,000. I said, look, you manage the money, we'll build, we just want $25 an hour, and when the money runs out, we'll stop. And they were thrilled when the $250,000 had run out. The house had stained timber ceilings that were lacquered. All the bedrooms, and had a big deck running along the front of it. And Kirsten and I got together at the skydiving club, and by then I'd progressed and gone to teams and social habits.
How did you celebrate your 100th, John?
Well, that's it there above the television.
Was that a 16-way?
16-way.
Yeah.
Mainly South Australians, Corowa, and they let me go to the second point, and I fell out of the sky, because if you look behind you, under the boss, it's me looking around, where's everyone gone? And Don Cross was the cameraman. He dived down and he pointed up and he went, slow down. So I was hugging the air and got a few more of the big boys tacked on to me, so we sort of, I think Erica went low and we almost completed 2 points on my 100th jump, 16-way. And I'd come to Adelaide to watch Formula One Grand Prix, which I did. And then I ended up jumping into the next 4 Grand Prix before I went to Melbourne. And the safety officer, Smith, he said, hand in your e-licenses and you guys can do the base of the 16-way. And I didn't have an e-license. So Smithy said, sorry, you can't go. The rest of the social habit said, well, if Dad does come, we're not doing either. And he said, well, don't fuck up. And he said, well, I want the photo taken, the cars on the grid. And he said, I don't want to get anybody's cut off. I don't want everyone looking in, so the formation's flying nice and flat, not cupping here. But I was looking down, or looking across, and it was flying beautifully. So I had to look out, see the State Bank building, and check out where we were going to land at St. Peter's College Oval. And Smithy was on the jump, and he was the only guy that got sort of half his body cut off. Peter Waller took the photo. And anyway, I jumped into the next 4 Grand Prix. Got together with Kyle Selleck and went skiing at Hotham and Falls Creek and took parachutes with us. Stopped in at Violet Town and scared all the first jump students with horrible stories of, I think I got to 2,500 jumps, sprained my ankle once, and had 13 malfunctions.
You didn't happen to give any malfunctions out, did you?
Well, I gave this bloke, Shane Strudwood, I'd borrowed his gear and closed it like my... Anyway, all the building and stuff, and I got involved in the committee, and they made me president. And George Quigley came across the road and I said, George, you can't kick us out now. He said, no, Ted. He said, it's the only paddock I've got on that side of the road. Would you like to buy it? And I said, well, how much for 172 acres? And he said, $80,000. I said, well, we've got 50 in the bank now. It's probably earmarked for Don's new motor. And I said, we'll give you 60 a year for the next 5 years. We were leasing it off them $5,000 a year to allow us to jump there anyway. And anyway, it's a deal, and I felt pretty good about it. From all that building, I built Greg and Julie's stone house. When I arrived there was stone everywhere. I just said, start picking it up. Instead of a brick house, we'll build a stone house, brick coins. And I was involved with Kyle, and he helped, and Ron McKenzie supplied a lot of the second-hand windows and beams and beepers, timber, and we made a huge top story, cantilevered some of the floor joists out and made a veranda overlooking their big cliff, like they had at least 100 acres.
So tell me about when you met Kirsten and you got married and had your family, and obviously this house here at Williamstown. Why did you buy here at Williamstown?
I like wine so much, I decided to buy a little vineyard, and that's the end of the house there, and this was the garden. And my father-in-law said, look, sick coming up here every weekend, I'll give you 10 grand to pull it up. And I went, deal. And we pulled out all the good plants and poured this concrete slab, continued the veranda around the outside, and had sat down in a wheelchair by then, and I spent a lot of time out here on this new slab, looking at the view, going, gotta have, mostly windows. Kirsten left 2012, took Carly and Drew.
So what year did you get married with Kirsten? Do you remember?
Would have been 2000. I'd just been diagnosed with MS, and I got home first, and I had the Commodore up to 180 kilometres an hour. I was going to clip a gum tree on the way home and finish it off. But I didn't have the balls. And Kirsten came back. I said, and you might as well pack your bags, fuck off, dude. And she said, no, I love you, Dad. I said, well, we'd better get married and have kids. And she said, well, I hadn't thought about children. I said, you credit it if you don't have children. And lucky I renovated the Grace Emily Hotel, and one of them was an A&P. Anyway, he advised me to insure my income.
So you had two kids?
2 kids,
Drew and
Carly.
tell me about them. You must be proud.
Very proud. I wanted Drew to finish year 12, but he was in a hurry to get out and work and drive his XR6. And he's spending all his time and effort on his car now, making it.
And he's working?
And he's working in much the same job as his father, doing metal frames and hanging gyprock and flushing. So he's happy, and Carly would be in year 11, still doesn't really know what she wants to do, but
So how are you managing Ted now with your MS? You have carers, you have great friends and family around you who love you. Are you okay?
I'm good. I haven't got the kids all the time, but I, provide well for them. Carly loves coming to my rock concerts as my carer, and we've been to 10 or 15. And she's got my addiction, so she goes to Eminem and all the rap concerts. And
you've had a lot of family and friends supporting you as well?
Yep, and I lure them up here for cartons of wine.
Mate, your vineyard produces beautiful wine. What's the secret, you reckon?
Well, Kirsten and I grafted it. It was planted as Shiraz in 1975, and he couldn't get it to ripen, so he grafted it to Chardonnay. And we went to these Orlando growers liaison meetings, and they were raving about this clone 1564. So we went up and got the cuttings, employed a guy from Riverland come and graft the vines back to Shiraz, and they all took, and we planted a block ourselves to ripping out prune trees.
So what sort of grapes do you have on the block?
They're all Shiraz.
Shiraz.
And as you can see by my bottom chin, I probably drink a little bit too much red wine. Can't burn it off in a wheelchair. But luckily I had this AMP life and income protection, because it's enabled me to almost pay off the land that we bought in 1997 for under 200, and it's almost paid off now. Kirsten left in 2012, so I lived a life with carers, and I've switched to this enhanced lifestyle, and they get me out of my van every available opportunity. We have, picnics at Whispering Wall. She's had me on Mount Theberton.
Who's this you're talking about?
This is Tara, and I was drifting this wheelchair flat out in third gear on ice, and we put a tow rope on the back, and she was on a boogie board. I could get her out the side of me, and she was squealing because we were going so fast and flying around so much. And we're off to Kangaroo Island next week for a week. Visit Kyle Selleck, Davey Thomas, and there's a few others. I think the club went to the Nationals, and I asked if I could borrow Don, and approached Chip Onkepa. He said, "Dad, I've only got $50 in the bank." I said, "Look, Chip, we'll buy you a bacon and egg sandwich for breakfast, and you can have lunch with us, and counter meal and a few drinks." And we went to Second Valley, climbed to 12 grand, zoomed into Penneshaw, and up to Kingscote, and we're at about 4,000 feet, and I opened the door. Chip said, "What are you doing?" And I said, five left again. And I was just spitting. I went cowabunga and jumped out. I was in, there was Pete Anderson and Wayne, I was in Mora, and anyway, we landed, and the airport manager came running out. "Who are you guys?" And I said, "SES." He said, "No, you're not." I said, "Well, it's for us to know and for you to find out. I said, we're off to the pub now to meet a few locals, and we'll come back at 7 o'clock, grab our gear, and he wasn't happy, man. And anyway, Philby was over there, and Kyle, and we met a farmer who had a big smooth paddock, Brindana somewhere. And he said, you can land your aircraft in my paddock. He said, I've cropped it, and we were doing downwinders and out teethers and just skimming across the grass, 70 k's, and had a lot of fun.
So Ted, how do you summarise the way you've tried to live your life? You know, like, clearly fun is a big part of it. Mischievous, all the stuff that's fantastic about you, but your quality of work is phenomenal as well. You bring life to everything that you touch. You know, have you had a philosophy that you've lived life by?
Peace, love, nuts and berries, and red wine, and good music. I've still got my records there, and go to as many concerts as I can. Carly loves to come with me.
You're happy?
I'm happy. Got a big house, and I'm a bit lonely. But Drew spends a lot of time here, and I get Carly every second weekend, and we go op shopping, and I buy my coloured glass from the op shop, 50 cents an item, and as you can see, that window behind me is getting pretty cluttered.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Look, to all my friends, and I've lost my mum and dad, so I've got a son and a daughter, and another son in Queensland who's given me a grandson. Yeah, life goes on. I'm getting out and about and doing as much as I can. And I love everyone I've met. And I don't think I've shafted anyone. All my building's been pretty good. And like dropping out of engineering school has made me a better builder.
Good on you, buddy.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Shane.
Thanks. Hey, love you.
Good on you, man. Yeah, let me give you a kiss. Thank you.